to be fixed. Didn't see that before. Hi, I'm Shayla, and I'm doing another live video on a single oil that I've picked out. And I use the doTERRA brand of oils, essential oils, because they are amazing, of course. But also, them being more than just amazing, I love the way they outsource and the many different communities and countries and families and people that they help by getting their oils from the actual plant that is being grown in its natural best environment it should be grown in. That makes the oil that I'm getting even better and amazing. So I love doTERRA for that. They call it co-impact sourcing because it impacts not just the amazingness that the oils bring and the people. It doesn't just impact the people that are buying the oils and using the oils. It's also impacting the communities where we get the oils from, where they get the oils from. And also, they are amazing. doTERRA is amazing because they are the CPTG certification, where they run all of their oils through rigorous testing to make sure that it's completely pure, no chemicals, no nothing, and that it's giving us the great benefits that it gives us. So the oil that I'm going to talk about tonight, I am excited. I was excited last night about peppermint, and I'm pretty excited tonight about Melaleuca. Melaleuca is the tea tree oil. A lot of people just know it as tea tree and not Melaleuca, but Melaleuca is the actual name of the oil that I'm going to talk about tonight. It's an amazing oil that the top properties of it are it's an antiseptic, it's an antibacterial, it's antifungal, it's antiparasitic, it's antiviral, it's a decongestant. So it's anti a lot of things that are not good. And I'm going to also talk about that when I talk about the emotion side of it, which is one of the reasons I'm excited about Melaleuca, the emotions side of it. But I also am super excited because I use Melaleuca quite often. When I was making a whole list of all the uses for Melaleuca, I thought, wow, I really do use this a lot more than what I thought. It's naturally become a part of almost like a daily routine. It's definitely become a part of the medicine cabinet for me. We talk a lot, my oil family, my oil crew, we talk often about how all of these oils have replaced our medicine cabinet completely. And last night when I talked about peppermint, that's been the big fever reducer in my family. I don't have to buy Tylenol anymore, even for headaches, either Tylenol or Motrin to get rid of fevers with my children. I use the peppermint, but so the Melaleuca is the same thing almost. You can use it for your cuts, your wounds, to disinfect them and get them clean, and to keep them clean. You can use it for viruses that you get in your body, diarrhea, just by rubbing the oil on your abdomen. You can either put it straight on your abdomen or like on your skin, or you can dilute it a little bit with a carrier oil, like a coconut oil. So you can use it topically that way. Obviously, if you're putting it on a cut or wound, then it's getting into your body too. So you can ingest the Melaleuca as well. It doesn't taste fabulous, but there is the supplemental effects on there, so that lets you know that you can ingest it and it's good for your body, and not going to harm your insides, which would be bad. But speaking of that, also putting it, this is one of the ways that I've used it. I haven't used it so much with cuts or like diarrhea or anything like that, but I've used it for canker sores or cold sores. I take it and I put a drop on my fingertip and I just rub it on wherever I have that sore coming on. Right at the very beginning of feeling that it's coming on, I will put it on there and it clears it right up. I used it with my mom a couple weeks ago. She came over and she was like, I have the sore, what should I use for it? I was going to go to the store and get some whatever ointment, whatever, something. I was like, no, 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 you have Melaleuca. I know you have Melaleuca because I ordered it for you. So put that on it. Try that. Clears it right up. Also, when I use the On Guard does the same thing, which is the blend from doTERRA. But athlete's foot, my son there for a while was getting athlete's foot a lot, probably because he wasn't changing his socks. But he's 11, so what do I expect, right? I would take the fractionated coconut oil, so the oil that's really liquidy, and just put a couple drops in the palm of my hand, or a couple drops on the palm of his hand, and then of the Melaleuca, and then a squirt of the fractionated coconut oil, and just rub it all over his feet and his toes. So that coconut oil is going to help, moisturize that dried, dead skin, but and then the Melaleuca is going to help cure the actual athlete's foot. So he just kept putting that on at night and in the morning, or after taking a shower, when he's clean. And it gets rid of it. It got rid of it. Sore throat, tonsillitis, it helps with that if you gargle it. Instead of maybe doing like the salt water, things like that. That sometimes stings. And again, the Melaleuca, that tea tree oil, it is pretty strong and very, I don't know, very medicine-y smell. And so the taste of it isn't amazing. But if like when I put it on in my mouth, I put it on there and leave it there for a little while, maybe swish, around my water around in my mouth, and then, it's totally fine. Using it for dandruff, Tara, the winter months when it starts to get cold again, I tend to get, a little bit of dry scalp. And so I put a couple drops in the palm of my hand and really get, my fingertips in it. And then I just massage it in. And it doesn't make, my hair oily or anything like that. I do mix it with lavender or, lately ylang ylang, because again, the smell, it is pretty strong and medicine-y. So I don't want to smell like that. I don't want my hair to smell like that. So I do that. I do mix it. It's really good and you can also put it in a couple drops into, I have tea tree shampoo, but if I put a couple extra drops of tea tree into that tea tree shampoo, that also, helps in these dry, cold months. Ear infections. I have a friend whose son used to get a lot of ear infections, and so don't put it into the ear, but if you put it around the ear, like here in the back and up and around, then that gets rid of the ear infections and helps cure those. It's good for acne, pink eye, staph infection, putting it directly onto the affected area. It's really good. I obviously don't put it in your eye, but putting it around your eye for pink eye will also help clear that up. Bronchitis, cold, and flu. This is really big in my house with the cold season. I diffuse Melaleuca with, the On Guard or something else, but even diffusing it doesn't smell terrible. Mixing it with the peppermint too or breathe to kind of get it rid of the congestion and things, but it's the antibacterial, so it's going to disinfect anything that you wouldn't, and antiviral, so it's cleaning out the air and helping that way, and you're also breathing it in and getting all that goodness into your body. It's really good for rashes as well. Here lately, since I run every day now and training, so I will start to get rashes, where my skin is, rubbing and and under my arms where my, I'm running like this, right? So I'm starting, I may get a small little rash or whatever, and immediately upon, me noticing that, I am putting a couple drops in my hand with some fractionated coconut oil, and I'm just rubbing it right there on the rash, wherever the rash is, and it's getting rid of it. And it's also keeping me from getting rashes as well there. So that's great. But my favorite part is the emotions. So I told you it's right? It's antiseptic, antibacterial, anti-whatever. It's anti-everything. Getting rid of all bad things. And that's the emotion side of it too. So Melaleuca is the oil of energetic boundaries. And it assists with toxic relationships. So those relationships that you sometimes get in high tend to get in or have in my past. I'm very anti toxic relationships now. But those toxic relationships, it's going to help you to have clear boundaries and want to have clear boundaries. So it is really feeding into and assisting in codependency. And this is why I get excited about Melaleuca and the emotion side of it, because I grew up with a codependent. My mom, I think, was codependent based on her past relationships that she had, and so I learned a lot of codependent behaviors and mannerisms and just ways to react and feel about things. And then also being in an abusive alcoholic or relationship with an abusive alcoholic, that again lends towards codependency as well. So if you are just smelling it, if you're diffusing it, you're getting it into your brain, and in your brain is where all of those choices are being made, where your thoughts and your feelings are being generated, based on memories, based on just how you feel, what your body thinks and feels it should react to certain things. This tea tree, the Melaleuca, is going to assist with helping to break the negative ties so that you can build healthy connections that can be formed. It's going to help honor your own personal space and boundaries and other people's space and boundaries and choices and decisions, and that their decisions and choices are not your decisions and choices, and their decisions and choices are just theirs, and they can be theirs, and you can still have your own. This is helping with that in the brain and helping your brain figure that out. So it helps with codependency, and it helps with poor boundaries. Even putting it on your body, like I said, with me and running all the time, and I'm using it, to clear up rashes. Razor burn, and not just, rashes from running, but when you get razor burn or you get any type of rash as a reaction to something else, my skin's really sensitive to certain soaps and things. I'm putting that into my body to target a physical ailment, but it's also helping me emotionally as well, which I find awesome and cool. That's why I love it. That's why it's like magical. It's magic. Our body sometimes deals with our emotions and the stress that we put on it and the stress that we bring into it. The only way sometimes it can get that out is through physical ailments, through things like rashes and dandruff and things like that. It's not necessarily environmental. It's our body's way, like weather environmental, or what we are physically doing to our body. It's also what we're doing to our bodies emotionally and mentally, and our body has to release that somehow, and it does that sometimes physically. So yeah, think about that. When I think about that all the time, and when I start to oh, this is new. Why am I again getting dandruff? This isn't a normal thing. Why is my scalp extra dry right now when it's the summertime, or something like that? I have to kind of think about what I'm also bringing into my world, my body, emotionally and mentally, not just physically. So yeah, I feel like I talked really fast, but I wanted to make this a quick video. I want to make all of these quick so that it's a quick snapshot of the amazingness of these oils and how it not only helps us physically, but also helps us and makes us better physically, but also helps us emotionally. It makes us better emotionally, because we are emotional beings, and those emotions are just as important as our physical, what we look like and what is going on with our body physically. So take care of ourselves emotionally with doTERRA essential oils, and take care of our bodies mentally, and take care of our bodies physically. So thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, I will definitely be doing more of these because they're super fun. So stay tuned, and new